Before stadiums, billion-dollar contracts, or Super Bowl halftime shows, there were tribes. Survival wasn't just a choice. It was a daily event. Hunt better, run faster, fight stronger. And so, competition became instinct. In ancient Greece, they institutionalized it. The Olympics weren't just a game. They were declaration. A city-state's strength was proven not in philosophy alone, but in how far a man could throw a discus, or how fast he could race under the burning sun. These events were rituals, not entertainment, spiritual exercise that reflected a society's value, hierarchy, and collective identity. In Rome, the stakes evolved. Gladiator arenas were psychological theaters. The Colosseum was a social media feed of the empire. Raw, brutal, addictive. The crowd didn't just want to be impressed. They wanted to feel the power vicariously. To scream, to judge, to decide life or death with the thumbs down. From Olympic ideas to Roman bloodlust, the pattern was clear. Humans used sport not just to measure strength, but to externalize internal struggles, fear, pride, mortality. Competition wasn't a game, it was identity on display. And even today, that ancient pulse still throbs on the modern jerseys. Sure, no one's throwing spears in a marble arena anymore, but replace that sand with grass, the loincloth with lycra, and you still got the same primal story: prove your worth or be forgotten. The roar of a football stadium, that's not just noise, that's tribal memory screaming from the subconsciousness. It's fascinating. Humans say they have evolved, but deep down, they're still chasing lions or glory, depending on the century. The human mind is built for struggle. Without it, it invents one. Sport is a simulation, a socially acceptable way to chase status, dominance, and purpose without real-world casualties. The athlete is the avatar of ambition. When a human scores a goal, wins a sprint, lifts a trophy, the limbic system lights up like a Christmas tree. This is not metaphorical, it is neurological. Success in sport triggers dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin, chemical currencies of happiness. But here's the twist: the victory doesn't have to be yours. Watching your team win is enough to trick the brain into thinking you won. And so humans become addicted, not just to playing, but to witnessing, to absorbing glory through proximity. This explains why defeat causes riots. A gold medal can transform a nation's mood. In psychology, it's called basking in reflected glory, BIRG-ing. When your country wins, you wear its flag like a superhero cape. When it loses, you burn the jersey down. Sport offers humans something religion, politics, and philosophy often fails to deliver: simple, unambiguous triumph, a clear winner, a scoreboard, proof of worth. In a chaotic world, that's powerful and dangerously addictive. You know what's wild? A guy sitting on a couch with chip dust on his chest will scream, "We won!" because someone across the planet kicked the ball into a net. That is psychic hitchhiking. The ego is sneaky. It doesn't care who earned the victory, as long as it feels like it's a part of the winning tribe. And if the team loses, oh, then it's they. They played like garbage. Instantly disowned. The human brain is basically a bandwagon with legs, but you can't blame it. Sport traps it into the oldest craving, meaning through belonging. Sport is supposed to transcend politics, but it never has. When Jesse Owens humiliated Nazi propaganda by winning 4 gold medals in Berlin, he didn't just run, he rewrote history. When Cold War nations clashed in the Olympics, every shot put and long jump was a symbolic warfare. And today, the Olympic medal counts as a subtle scoreboard for soft power. Nations spend billions training athletes, not out of love for the sport, but because victory is branding. It says, our schools, our bodies, our systems are better. It's the Olympics, but it's also the battlefield, minus the bullets. This transforms athletes into national assets. They're expected to win not just for glory, but for the idea of the nation. Flags rise, anthems play, and behind every celebration is a subtle whisper, "We're better than them." This psychology is collective ego. Politicians exploit it, broadcasters monetize it, citizens internalize it, and the world watches as sports becomes an avatar of geopolitical posturing, a peaceful proxy for war, coated in spandex and Gatorade. It's like the Hunger Games, but everyone pretends it's about peace and unity. Look closer. Every medal ceremony is a nationalistic power pose wrapped in sportsmanship. The face paint, the anthems, the tears, that's not just emotion, that's strategy. Countries don't just want to compete, they want to dominate the narrative. And the athletes? They carry more than muscle on those shoulders. They carry flags, policies, and expectations of millions. You thought they were just running a race? Nah, They're running centuries of ideology in a pair of Nikes. Being a professional athlete is often glamorized, but behind the gold medals and endorsement deals lies a brutal regime of pain, discipline, and sacrifice. Childhoods are replaced with training, social lives dissolved into recovery cycles, injuries are inevitable, careers are short, and the margin of error is microscopic. In most sports, only the top 1% make it to the stage. And even then, mental pressure devours many. Depression, burnout, and identity crisis are frequent visitors once the cheering stops. The crowd sees the finish line. The athlete lives thousands invisible steps to get there. And then there's the illusion of choice. For many athletes, especially in the underdeveloped regions, sport is a ticket out, a way to escape poverty and obscurity. But that pressure isn't freedom, it's weight. Parents invest everything into one child's body, sometimes at the cost of education or health. Coaches become gods, bodies are pushed past ethical limits, performance-enhancing drugs are not a moral issue. They're a survival strategy in a system that rewards the fastest and forgets the rest. Glory is seductive, but it often comes with scars the world never sees. It's not just a game, it is a lottery ticket, with your spine's sanity and social life as a collateral. Everyone sees the athlete with the gold medal. No one sees the 10,000 who limped away in silence. And let's not forget, even the winners live on a stopwatch. One injury, one bad season, and poof, the spotlight moves on. Imagine working your whole life to be the best, only to become a motivational speaker for hire by 30. It's not a sport. It is a career in existential whiplash. Human beings don't just watch sports, they dissolve into them. Crowds form collective identities. When 80,000 people chant in unison, something primitive awakens. Individuality melts, rationality fades. A hive mind emerges. Psychologists call this de-individuation. In simple terms, you lose yourself. That's why normally calm individuals can scream, throw bottles, or cry in joy over a game they didn't play. The stadium isn't just an arena, it's a cathedral. Sport becomes a ritual, fans become believers, and tribal instincts re-emerge, with jersey instead of war paint. This isn't just emotional release, it's a social bonding. Cheering synchronizes heart rates. Victory surges testosterone. Even hope becomes chemical, but the same chemistry that creates joy can fuel chaos. Hooliganism, riots, and violence are the dark shadows of this psychology. Sport unites, but it also divides. Us versus them, our team, our town, our nation against the other. For a species addicted to identity, sports offer the clearest mirror. You will cheer for strangers as long as they wear your colors. That's both beautiful and dangerous. The stadium might be concrete, but the brain thinks it's ancient battleground. Give it a flag and a song, and boom, logic goes out of the window. 1 minute you're a school teacher, next minute you're screaming, punch the ref, with the painted face and foam finger. Sports tap into the same circuitry as religion, war, and nationalism, except with more nachos. It's hilarious and terrifying how fast humans will throw hands over whose ball crossed the line first. Sport is no longer just competition, it is an industry. A multi-trillion-dollar engine spanning media rights, merchandise, advertising, sponsorship, and betting. Athletes are brands. Clubs are corporations. Events are economic behemoths. The Olympics, not just a celebration of human potential, it is a geopolitical trade show. The Super Bowl, half the viewers tune in for commercials. Sports has become capitalism in motion, with bodies as assets and moments as memorized experiences. And this monetization reshapes priorities. Talent gets discovered earlier, trained harder, and marked younger. Performance becomes a product. Integrity often takes a backseat to profit. Corruption leaks in. Formed rigged matches to laundering money through teams, but there is no slowing down. Why? Because sports sells hope, and hope sells tickets. People buy jerseys, stream matches, and travel across continents, not just for entertainment, but for a piece of meaning. The irony, in trying to buy passion, the industry often forgets why people felt it in the first place. Let's call it for what it is, gladiators and Gucci. Modern sports are less about who's faster and more about who signs the better shoe deal. Your favorite athlete probably has a media team, crypto partnership, and a protein shake named after them. And fans? They're walking wallets, from overpriced popcorn to algorithm-fueled merchandise drops. It's emotional manipulation wrapped in hype. But hey, at least the halftime show slaps. Sport is never just sport. When countries compete in global arenas like the Olympics or the World Cup, it's not about individuals. It's about national pride, geopolitical identity, and symbolic victory. When Jesse Owens shattered Nazi radical ideology in 1936, it wasn't just a sprint. it was a punch through propaganda. When the US faces China in the Olympics, medals become metaphors for power. Athletes carry the weight of flags, history, and invisible battles. Glory is glory, loss is a political embarrassment. And every win whispers, our system is better than yours. Governments invest billions not only to train athletes but to construct mythologies. A nation that wins is a nation that inspires. Sport is a soft power at its most visible. It generates national cohesion, morale, and unity, even if it's temporarily. But there is a flip side: pressure. Countries demand victory as proof of their superiority. This can fuel systematic abuse, cheating, or burnout. Behind every triumphant anthem at a medal ceremony is often a story of sacrifice or state-level obsession. The athlete runs, but it's the nation holding the stopwatch. It's funny. Politicians can get people to agree on lunch, but one Olympic gold and suddenly everyone's hugging in the streets. Government use athletes like human trophies, parading them when they win, forgetting them when they don't. It's patriotism on steroids. And the wildest part, the average citizen will fight harder for their country's volleyball team than they do for clean water policies. Sport unites, but it's also a shiny distraction from everything not televised. The story of sport is the story of humanity in motion. From the original Olympic Games in 776 BCE, where naked men wrestled on the Greek sun, to Roman gladiators clashing for imperial entertainment, humans have always ritualized competition. Physical excellence wasn't just admitted, it was worshipped. Fast forward to modern MMA, Formula 1, esports. The essence remains: test the limits of flesh, will, and coordination. Every sport, ancient or new, is a theater of human capability, and every audience, knowingly or not, watches themselves in it. What changed isn't just the rules or uniforms, it's the meaning. In the past, sport was tied to religion, myth, and community rights. Now it's data-driven, globally televised, and often commodified. Yet the core impulse remains unchanged: to overcome. That's why humanity never stops inventing new games, pushing new limits, building new arenas. It's a coded language for human aspiration. Gladiators once fought lions to please emperors. Today, athletes perform for algorithms and advertisers. But the stage? Still scared. The stakes? Still existential. If aliens landed tomorrow and turned on a UFC match, they'd probably think humans solved disagreements with flying knees and blood bonuses. From Olympic marathons to hot dog eating concerts, it's all performance, different stakes, same animal. Deep down, sport is humanity's socially acceptable way to chase chaos, sweat, and storylines. And let's be honest, it's way more fun to watch someone run a 9.58 seconds 100-meter sprint than to read a quarterly economic forecast. As AI, biotechnology, and augmented reality evolve, so too will sport. Imagine neural-linked training partners, simulation indistinguishable from real arenas, or even athletes with enhanced genetics. Boundaries between sport and science will blur. Will records still remain if limbs are engineered? Will fairness survive in a world of performance enhancement? Tomorrow's champion may not just be born, they might be built. But the question won't be can we, it will be should we? And beyond the athletes, the fan will transform too. Personalized broadcast, virtual stadiums, fan-controlled teams. Sports will be hype customized, yet the danger is emotional detachment. Will people still scream in living rooms if their avatar watches the match? The soul of sport lies not just in speed or strength, but in unpredictability, pain, and human imperfection. If humanity loses that, if sport becomes algorithmic entertainment, humans might lose more than a game. Humans might lose the reflection that sport offers back to the species: raw, glorious, flawed humanity in motion. Brace yourselves, tomorrow's MVP might have a GPU. Fans won't need a ticket, they'll need headset. Wait till someone live streams from a cloned tendon grown in a vat. But here's the kicker: even with flying drones, biohacked legs, and AI commentators, people will still cry over missed penalties. Because sport, at its core, isn't about perfection, it's about people. Screaming, flawed, tribal people. And no upgrade changes that.